With this still life project, we are going to be inspired by the artist Jim Dine. Jim Dine was a pop artist, and he was famous for creating drawings and paintings of very simple everyday objects like tools and paintbrushes, and sometimes just using pencil and black ink. Today, we are going to gather different sizes and shapes of paintbrushes and practice drawing what we see from real life. Here are a few finished student examples of this assignment. For this still life assignment, we're going to be using a variety of paintbrushes. You can use paintbrushes that you have around your home. If you don't have any, I have sent you a handout with a variety of paintbrush shapes and sizes, but our goal is to fill our paper with different sized paintbrushes, different shapes of them. And right now, we're just going to be drawing the outline of them. And we're going to be doing something like called contour line drawing. So if you're watching me, you'll notice that I'm just focusing on drawing the outline of this red paintbrush. I'm using my eyes and my hands, my pencil, to kind of draw what I'm looking right at. As I draw these contour lines or outline of the shape, I'm really focused on the fact that this is a curved, rounded object. So for example, the line that I've created for that grip in the middle has a curved line on the left and right side of it. And also, I've noticed that as I'm drawing it, it kind of is made up by two wavy lines because you can grip the paintbrush in the middle. As I look closely at the metal part of this paintbrush, it starts thin and kind of fans outward. So I'm drawing what I see. And then I'm adding a few little ridges and that dent at the top that's used to pinch the brush hairs. And again, another curved line because I know this brush is rounded. And then kind of like how we drew our hair for our self-portraits, we're going to continue to imagine that as just its own shape. And then I can go back in and add a few lines to show the texture of the brush hairs. I'm going to keep going and draw a variety of brushes all over my paper, and you can just watch before you begin. Okay, for the next step, I'm going to use, you could use a black colored pencil or a black Sharpie, something permanent, but do not use something washable like a Crayola marker or a washable marker of any kind, because when we add our watercolor, it'll wash all your lines away. So keep it permanent, or like I said, a regular colored pencil or a black crayon would even work if you don't have any of those. So then we're just gonna go ahead and outline the lines that we just really wanna keep. And I want you to notice, I know I was in a time-lapse mode, but notice how I overlapped. I would love it if you could show me in your drawings some overlapping. And as I created that illusion that these paintbrushes are overlapping, I had to erase the ones that were below it. And something else that you might have noticed that helped me, you can kind of still see my line here, is sometimes when I'm drawing something and I want to make it exact, I drew a super light line with my pencil and divided it in half. So then I created one half at a time. And that helps me get the shape down. And it's okay to erase and restart and try again, but as I'm drawing this, you may have also noticed that I'm pressing super soft with my pencil and I'm sketching, so it's not a full dark heavy line. I'm just pressing lightly and making small short brush strokes as I'm building the contour line or the shape of all these pieces. So right now I'm going to go ahead and do another time lapse so you can watch me quickly outline all of my paintbrushes. you're done, you can go ahead and let your ink dry and then use an eraser and erase all of your pencil lines. Keep in mind that I did go back and add a few lines to show texture for those brush hairs. You might not want to add in every single one, but it definitely makes it a little bit more interesting and convincing to show a little bit. All right, for the next step, you can go ahead and get out your watercolors, water, and a paintbrush to paint with. Let me just do a quick demo of what I did. You'll notice I have a little bit of each color splattered around that paintbrush, kind of like the style of Jim Dine. I didn't do this one, so I'll show you an example here. I got my brush really wet, swirled it around on the color that matches the color I used on that paintbrush. I'm gonna hold my brush really close to my paper and just gently tap. Okay? You want this hand to hold your brush pretty loosely so that it can create some movement. The goal is not to cover your whole workspace. If you look, I only have a little, and that was actually from painting the paintbrush. All right, I hope you had a great time.